All right, guys, welcome to Unit 4. This is on the empires of the early modern world, circa 1450 to 1750. Okay, and the first question we're going to look at is, and the assignment we have to do today is based on this question right here. Why the West? And when I say the West, I mean the worlds and the colonies that derive out of Western Europe particularly. And that's a term that you're going to see quite frequently. But before we do so, a little introduction to this particular period in time. We're going to look at a number of things, particularly not just simply the regional connections that were made in the last unit, like the Silk Roads and others, but the process of globalization, that the networks of exchange and communication are now global, and particularly through European exploration with Eastern technology of the globe. And we're going to see consequences of this, like the Columbian Exchange, the creation of new commercial organizations, and also a new means by which merchants are creating profit and resulting therefore in the patronage of the arts. Furthermore, there is a spread of Western religions, but then also how these are going to merge and change over time as they enter into new realms as well. Okay. Secondly, we're going to take a look at new forms of social organization, and many of these are unfortunate, particularly ones that deal with the new plantation system, whereby there are new racial and gender identifications and hierarchies and new forms of labor system, none of which are good by any means. Okay. You also have new states that will develop, and also ones that continue on, some that are familiar to us, including ones we just studied here in regards to Spain, Portugal, England, France, and the Netherlands, and the ones we're going to study a little bit further and are very familiar to us here, China, the Ottoman Empire, Russia, the Mughal, and the Safavids, because in the second part of this unit, this is Unit 4B, we will take a look at those particular empires, and particularly like the ones we've seen before in regards to places like China, for instance, which is as magisterial and advanced as they get. And so we see all the technologies that make it into a major regional power, a super state that has lasted for centuries. You also have empires in the Middle East, like the Ottoman Empire and the Safavids, and then also I would add in South Asia as well. We're going to explore these a little bit further. But if you were to say, look, which group is going to really dominate the world, it is the one that you would not guess would be Europe. That's absurd because of all it's stuck in feudalism. It is believing in all these sort of absurd things. And so when we look at what changes, we have to see exactly why. And the reason why the West is really going to take off is because it does really subtle things. Okay? And we're going to explore those subtle things in this assignment, such that by 1900, the Western world is going to more or less control or influence most of the globe, and to the point where, again, many of the systems that we live in today are dominated by Western ideas and so forth. And so the question is, again, how? And so, like I said, it's done incrementally, but not in the direct fashion that you would imagine in regards to, oh, they've got firearms and so forth. It's more than that in this case. So we're going to explore these things, and we're going to see if you can come up with why based on these advances that are happening in the West around the 15th, 16th, 17th century onwards here. Okay, so what's going to happen is that you'll be broken up into groups of about probably 4 or 5 individuals, such that there are 10 groups total. And so one person, as usual, is going to open up the document and share with the others. You'll be given a specific group number as well. Keep that group number in mind, and make sure you write that down in the slot that is provided in this box right here. Okay. From there, going to happen is each group will be given a starting point. And so let's say, for example, your group number 1, and you're starting with station A. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on station A and do what the website is going to tell you to do in terms of what to read, what to do. and be able to complete as much as you possibly can in 7 minutes. Okay? Because after 7 minutes, you're going to eventually move on to the next placard set and so forth and so on, staying within that 7-minute time session there. For each question set, for each station, in order for your group to get full credit, each student is going to have to make an edit, at least one edit in each station for your group to get full credit. So please work on this together because you need to be able to distribute the work and show that you've distributed the work between all the various group members. You're not going to assign each person a station because the point is for you to be able to see each one of these as is. Okay. And then finally, there is a set of rotation guidelines, but basically each station is going to move forward. So if you're group 3, you're going to start with letter C, and just to note, letter C, the placard station C is going to be outside. Okay, so it'll be a desk outside, so please do note that. But after the first 7 minutes is done, C is going to rotate over to D. Okay, so what that means is you're just going to go in alphabetical order every 7 minutes. So you start with C, then the D, E, F, G, H, I, and you get to J. J comes back to A and B. Okay, so you should be able to get as many of these done as the period allows for in this case. So follow the rotations that are provided. Okay, finally, you may be done before the 7-minute mark. And again, the key question and key issue is why the West ended up being the superior force in the globe by the 20th century. Okay, and so what you're going to do is the following. Okay, as you're answering the questions, you want to be able to think about the question, why the West? Okay? Why particularly the West has a distinct advantage over the rest of the world based on whether the scientific discovery or the historical circumstance allows for. So why were the West given a specific advantage? Okay, so in the time that's left over, or if someone else is thinking about it, because you again are working as a group here. Okay, so somebody go ahead and put in the comments on the side. Okay, this is going to give the West a distinct advantage because, okay, and you're going to add that in. Okay, at the end of the period, with a few minutes left over, you're going to go ahead and provide your own individual summary in document response 4.2 to that question in regards to why the West. So with that, you're going to start off. These are your starting points for the first placard set, and you'll see this listing elsewhere as the activity progresses. But again, 7 minutes for each one, and you're going to rotate to the next one as we go. All right, best of luck. Follow the rotations correctly. Make sure everybody's involved, and make sure you answer that question, why the Western world will come to dominate the rest.